This video was made possible by CuriosityStream and Nebula. I've been obsessed with space my entire life, but in the past few years, I've become an even bigger nerd than usual. You know why? Because we are living through a golden age of exploration. There are more satellites in space right now than ever before. We have spacecraft exploring the farthest reaches of our solar system and groundbreaking missions launching all the time. We're pushing further and learning more about our universe than any generation before us. And this has me thinking, what is it about us humans that drives us to explore? What is it about our species that makes us so damn curious? Well, like everything else, there's a science behind it. So here's how curiosity works and why it will always push humanity forward. First, we need to get one thing straight. Humans didn't evolve to be explorers. It's not like one day our ancestors were hanging out in the trees doing nothing much, and then the next day they were packing up their stuff and searching for new lands. Evolution doesn't work that way. Instead, biologists believe that humans evolved from earlier primates over millions of years, adapting to different environments along the way. But the key thing to remember is that every single adaptation served an original purpose. For example, thumbs up here. Our opposable thumbs didn't evolve specifically for climbing trees, or picking up spears, or building spaceships. They just happened to be useful for all those things. Basically, thumbs are just thumbs. Similarly, almost every trait you can think of in humans, big brains, bipedalism, hairlessness, it all came about because it was beneficial for survival and reproduction at some point in our distant past. So if that's the case, what exactly is the science of exploration? Well, to answer that question, scientists turn to the animal kingdom for clues. Animals don't explore for fun, right? They do it because they have to. Take bees, for example. When a bee colony is overcrowded, individual bees will go exploring, scouting out new locations where they can start a new hive. But those bees aren't motivated by a desire to see the world. They're acting on chemicals released by the other bees. See, when a bee is released from the hive, it flies around until it finds something promising, like a flower with lots of pollen. Then it returns to the hive and releases special chemicals called pheromones. Pheromones are like invisible signals that tell other members of their species, in this case, other bees, that this flower is a great place to collect pollen. If enough bees find enough flowers and release enough pheromones, the whole colony will move. That is, of course, unless they run into another colony of bees, who also found those flowers and started releasing their own pheromones. In that case, both colonies will move away from each other, until they find new flowers to pollinate. This is basically the definition of exploration. Individual bees going out into the unknown to find resources that will benefit their colony. And the key thing to remember here is that it's driven by chemical signals. Bees aren't out there because they want to see the world. They're out there because their survival depends on it. Now let's take a look at human babies. Okay, so you may not have known this about me, but before I took over the world, I used to spend my time being cute and learning about the world by grabbing stuff and shoving it in my mouth. It's how babies learn what's safe to eat and what isn't. Which sounds obvious now that I'm 36 years old and have lost the ability to fit my fist in my mouth. But back then, it was pretty important, and my behavior wasn't unique. Every human baby does it. Every baby primate does it. And scientists think it's actually an instinct that's hardwired into our DNA. Like bees exploring for flowers, babies are exploring their environment, looking for anything interesting and sticking it in their mouths. And if something feels good, they make a little noise to let their mom know that this thing is cool. And if something sucks, well, they cry and hope mom takes it away. This is a super effective way to learn about your surroundings without getting hurt. And that's because babies are born with reflexes, like sucking and grasping. So they don't really have to learn how to do it. They just sort of do it. These reflexes don't last forever. As babies grow up, they learn to explore with their senses instead of their reflexes. But that's okay, because these two things serve the same purpose. They help babies figure out what's around them. And that brings us back to the question I asked at the beginning of this video. What is it about humans that makes us so damn curious? Well, it's the same thing that makes babies shove things in their mouths. Our survival. According to evolutionary biology, humans evolved to be curious because curiosity helps us survive. In other words, it's a trait that's beneficial to our species, so it got passed down from one generation to the next. Some people are naturally more curious than others. But the good news is that curiosity can be learned. In fact, many psychologists believe that people can be taught to be more curious. The key is to foster an environment where curiosity is valued. For example, I recently read an article about an Italian preschool that teaches kids how to be curious. Now, before you roll your eyes and click off this video, I know it seems kind of ridiculous. Curiosity is something you either have or you don't. But there's evidence that shows you can teach kids how to be curious. And it starts with asking questions. The preschool in Italy has teachers who ask tons of open-ended questions during class. Questions like, why do you think that, or how would you fix this? By asking these questions, Teachers encouraged kids to be curious, and after a few months, students were taking initiative, asking questions themselves, and exploring their interests. One student who liked trains spent some time drawing train tracks, while another student who liked animals spent her time drawing farm animals. And when they were done, they proudly presented their work to the class and explained why they chose to draw what they drew. Basically, these kids were exploring the world around them and expressing their creativity based on what they learned. And that wouldn't have happened if these kids weren't in an environment that valued curiosity. Okay, so that's nice and all, but what does any of this have to do with rockets? Well, according to experts, curiosity is what drives scientific discovery. Let me explain. In order to discover something new, you have to ask a question about the world around you. And the only reason we're able to ask those questions is because we're curious. For example, if you look up at the night sky and wonder why the moon is so far away, you're being curious. You're exploring something about the world because you're interested in it. And if you wanted to find the answer, you could learn about the moon landings or read some books about space or watch this video. All of those things require curiosity. So curiosity is at the heart of scientific discovery. It's the reason why scientists ask questions, design experiments, and search for answers. And most importantly, it's what drives progress. When was the last time you did something new and exciting? Maybe you tried a new food, or visited a new place, or met someone new. What motivated you to do that? Was it because you wanted to learn something new or experience something different? Or was it because you had a burning question that needed to be answered? Whatever the reason, it probably had a lot to do with curiosity. Curiosity is what makes us human. It's what drives us to explore the world around us and discover new things. And it's what will continue to push humanity forward long after we're gone. In the meantime, I want you to go out there and explore the world. Ask questions, try new things, and never stop being curious. You never know what you might discover. Thank you for watching this C-Show video, and thanks again to CuriosityStream and Nebula for supporting this video. If you'd like to help support CuriosityStream and Nebula while gaining access to a ton of incredible perks such as behind-the-scenes content, live streams, and more, head over to our support page and become a supporter today.